Welcome to the Magnetize and Monetize Your Market podcast, hosted by the co-founders of the $1 Million Mom Society, Anisa Crespo and Natasha Navarro. This podcast is designed for women who are ready to tap into their inner millionaire mindset, grow thriving businesses, and attract their ideal clients effortlessly with confidence. If you're ready for entrepreneurial success, you're in the right place. So stay tuned and let's build empires together. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Magnetize and Monetize Your Market. I am one of your co-hosts, Anisa Crespo.
And I'm Natasha Navarro. Thank you guys for joining us again. And today we are talking about perfectionism and how that can be the death of your business in some ways when we focus on perfectionism instead of just getting things out there and saying practice makes progress instead of practice makes perfect.
Yes, I am a recovering perfectionist for number one. I used to always just think everything had to be just a certain way. And like, even when I was working at my job for the longest time, like the first few years, I would spend all this time, like I would literally stay past 5 o'clock. It would be like 6:30 and I'd still be like perfecting little things that like nobody even appreciated in the end. And it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, I did this. And they're like, oh, that's great. Like, who
Yeah.
cares? Pretty
Who
much.
cares? Yeah.
So I have now come to the realization that done, not perfect, will get you so much further. And there's so many things that you can honestly like just go back and tweak. And it's funny. I was actually the other day, I was posting one of our like teaser episodes for this podcast, and I noticed there was like a typo in it. And I'm like, I'm just gonna leave this typo because I was like, I'm just,
I read
that's it.
through every word too. Dang it. I went
I
like
know.
so slow through because I was like, Anissa's gonna notice something that I didn't notice.
And that's just, it's something that I have to work at because, in my brain, in the back of my head, it's like, ooh, go back and fix that. But like you'll drive yourself crazy trying to like go back and fix every little thing. And I think the other thing is like when I see somebody else either like making a typo or a mistake or slipping up on their words, you know what I mean? It's like they're human and it
Yeah.
humanizes them and it just makes the connection even better. So we are human, we make mistakes all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm sure Natasha can share a little bit about that.
Well, I think that the other thing is like I'll see people posting that someone has trolled them online, like, oh, I would never work with someone who uses the improper use of there and there or whatever, like, just gets down on them because they made a mistake in their grammar or their spelling or their whatever it is. And most of the time, those people tend to be bigger people. They get a lot of attention, right? And they're kind of calling themselves out, but really calling that person out. And they're like, listen, if you have a client who doesn't want to work with you because you had a typo and I don't know how if you guys understand how like captions work. When you bring in captions, the captions are auto generated. I didn't type that in there. Okay. They're auto generated based on what it hears, but that doesn't even matter. It's like if someone's reading that and they're like, oh, they spelled that word wrong, I'm not going to work with them. I promise you that's not your kind of client anyway. I'm all for being professional. And Anissa and I both come from corporate backgrounds. And so it was imperative in a lot of ways that things were very professional and proper and done the right way. And for me, I actually was in the military and I did contracting. So if a contract had a missing word or a misspelled word, or, I said something that I shouldn't have said, that could create legal ramifications for the government. Like it was important to make sure that I crossed every T, dotted every I. So I think that also instilled and really fostered my perfectionism, like encouraged it even more, unfortunately. And as I told Anissa, kind of like that OCD where I have to make sure everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be and everything has a place and I'm wiping down everything as I go through. Like, oh, it's crazy. But one of the things I've noticed is one, after I had kids, that reduced a lot of my need for perfectionism because kids don't give you the grace and the time to worry about things being perfect. If they're hungry, they want that macaroni and cheese right now. Okay. They don't care that the macaroni and cheese isn't on the perfect plate sitting in the thing. They want their dang food. Or if they spill their milk and it's like you're hurrying up because they also are peeing on the floor and one of them's rubbing something on the, it's like you don't have time to worry about if everything got cleaned up perfectly. So it forces you a little bit to calm down and recognize that nothing as bad is going to happen. For the most part, nothing bad is going to
Now,
happen.
to be fair, I mean, I have 4-year-old twins, and there will be times where a fit will be thrown if, like, the green plate is used instead of the yellow plate.
That
And,
is
then
true.
it's like full on meltdown mode.
But that's
Ladies, I'm
their
sure you,
perfectionism, not
yeah,
our
that's their
perfectionism.
issues, not mine. But no, even like the spilling of the milk. Like, I grew up in a house where, like, they say, like, there's no use crying over spilled milk. No, like, we were made to cry over spilled milk.
Yeah.
Like, you
Oh,
were not
yeah.
allowed to spill milk. And
They're
it
like,
was
are
a
you
big
wasting
deal.
this expensive milk?
I know. It's so funny. Every time I hear that expression, there's no use crying over spilled milk. It reminds me of when I was pumping, and I had a really hard time with it because I wasn't producing. And so I would pump for like an hour and then get like an ounce of milk. And I think my husband like spilled it one time. So I'm like, okay, you can cry over that spilled milk. But no, it's
Listen, that was
honestly like
grounds for divorce, okay? Because
literally.
samey sames, like I barely got any. I know we're backtracking a little bit, but I barely got any here because again, I think maybe because we were like older parents. I don't know what the thing was. Then I'd have friends that was like, here, I have a freezer filled with milk that I filled yesterday. And it makes you feel like such a horrible mom. But no, seriously, like that's a really good point though, because as women, we put so much pressure on ourselves that nobody else is putting on us. Like your husband never would have made you feel bad for deciding to not breastfeed your child because you couldn't produce milk, right? But we made ourselves because we needed, that's what moms do. That's what our body's supposed to do. That's how it's supposed to happen. I should have pumped exactly this amount of milk this time. Like we made it in our head where no one else cares and no one else would have judged us, at least not anyone we care about. And we do that in business. It's like we got on screen and we didn't have our hair and makeup done right. And we watch it over again and we're like, oh my gosh, look at that one hair that's just sticking out. Or, my face looks so red or this and this. And we're so focused on the negative of what we didn't do versus focusing on the fact that, like, hey, we connected with people resonated with what we had to say. Um, we helped somebody, we made someone feel inspired to comment and feel like, hey, what you said really made me feel heard and seen. Instead, we're sitting there thinking like everyone's probably judging me for my shirt that I'm wearing. It's like, oh
Yeah, no,
gosh,
it's
let it
so
go.
true. Like, even, I think recently we did an episode with Rachel Kalb, and I was like, if you guys have watched that episode, like, I look like absolute like dog crap in that one because I was sick, but I was like, I have this recording scheduled, like I have to show up, and I did, and I looked a hot mess, but it was one of the best conversations I've ever had with another female entrepreneur. Like, Rachel's amazing. And of course, she's so
Mhm.
beautiful and so polished and everything like that. But I know that I am too. And it just happened to be that on that day I wasn't, you know what I mean? But I'm still who I am on the inside. And we still had that energy connection and we vibed and we talked about all things that we were supposed to talk about. And it was a wonderful connection. And that was a good episode. So check it out if you haven't. But it just, we're always constantly putting all this pressure on ourselves. And I used to be that person where I was like obsessed with like the spelling and the grammar. And I'm like over here judging people for using like your, and you're wrong, or like there. And it's like so stupid. Like, who cares? Like, if that's the worst thing that you do all day, you're having a pretty good day, So I think it's
Listen,
just
I'm not
like,
gonna say I don't notice it. I
yeah,
still notice it when other people misspell
we
stuff.
give
I
grace.
notice it when I will go back and edit my text messages. I will reread every text message or everything I send. I'm still like, I don't think you have to completely change who you are because especially as the generations go and less people are writing things with their hands and more things are auto corrected and auto spelled, I feel like there's going to be a huge disconnect and disservice. Sorry, my dogs are barking. Real mom life. Um, can you hear them barking so
We
loud?
can't hear
Oh,
your
good.
dogs. So
So, I think that that's a thing that's going to happen more and more is because people are honestly never going to have to really spell for themselves. Like they're going to have things that are doing it for them. So less and less people are probably even going to notice. And so many people use shorthand in their text messages. It's just, I think that we are a dying breed of people that care about that kind of stuff. And as your business is evolving and you grow and you go through the next decade and the decade after that, no one's going to care about any of this stuff, right? People are going to be using AI to be doing their videos, and they're going to have, robots typing their stuff. So
Yes,
don't
and
get
the
so
boomers
caught
are
up in
going to
the hype.
judge.
Yeah,
They are
no, the
going to judge us
robots.
all day.
Yeah,
It's
they're going to take
true.
over.
And like, I think that also goes to the point of like how we have to evolve and just change as humans in general. I mean, think about the things that we learned in school when we were growing up. Like, a lot of those things are obsolete. Like, one of the things I see all the time, like, name something that your teacher told you that is a total lie. And one of the answers is always like, you won't always have a calculator in your pocket. And it's like, we have
Yeah.
phones, and we don't need that core math anymore because we have phones and Google and AI and all the things. So it's like, but to me that just opens up the door to teach our youth like really other important things, like, oh, I don't know how to do taxes or start a business, because I
Yeah.
think those things are pretty critical.
Yeah, so getting back to that point of starting a business, if you are listening to this right now and you are the type of person that's just kind of been sitting on the fence because you're like, I don't have the perfect idea yet, or I don't have the perfect branding yet, or I don't have the perfect website yet, whatever it is that you have told yourself you don't have yet, that's not perfect yet, we are here to tell you that Anissa and I have launched many a business. We've rebranded multiple times in all those businesses. We have changed our taglines on our Facebook name. We've changed our Facebook name several times. We've changed our covers multiple times. We've updated our website very probably too often and annoyingly. We just are the type of people that will jump in and figure it out as we go. And the really kind of bigger point of that is, especially when you are doing a business, sometimes we get so in the weeds and we think, oh, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I've spent months on this, and you launch it and you get crickets. So it is so much better in most of the time. It is so much better to, as Anissa would say, to jump in and build the plane as you're flying it than to build this beautiful, huge, big plane that you think everyone's going to come on. Look at, I have the most comfortable seats and it's the cheapest and you're going to love it. And no one gets on your plane and you're like, oh my gosh, I wasted so much time building this plane. Like, we would rather build it as we go. And we're like, oh, hey, cool. You're going to jump on. Oh, we'll give you a seat. Hold on. Well, let's build the
Yeah.
seat real quick. Like, that's just a
We
better
like to
approach.
do, yeah, like we like to do market research in real time as people are connecting with us and giving us feedback and telling us what they need. Because a lot of times we get in our heads and we think we know what people need. And then we get in there and we have this, like, like she said, this perfect plan and this perfect offer that we've built out. And we think it's going to get all this traction. And then it's like, wait a minute, where is
Not
everybody?
one sale.
And then sometimes, like, even talk about, like, posting your content. Like, I swear I get, the dumber the stuff that I post, the more engagement I get. The things that I like really put a lot of thought into, and it's like so perfectly crafted. It's like, and then you get crickets, and it's just like, why? Well, we're just human. We're genuine people. We see things that just resonate with us and we want to engage with it. Not all the things, because sometimes my husband will send me some stuff and he'll be like, "This is funny. You should post this. You're gonna get a lot of hits." And I'm like, "I can't post that. Not on my social
Yeah,
media."
no. My husband and I do not have the same sense of humor, at least not about that kind of stuff. I'm like, please stop sending me stuff on Instagram. I do not think what you send is funny. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
it's
even
so funny.
borderline offensive.
But no, it's so true. Like, there's no perfect time to start. Like, just start now. I was even talking to somebody like back in early December, and they're like, "Oh, I should probably wait till first quarter." And I'm like, "Why? Why do you need to wait until first quarter to start? That's ridiculous. Start today."
Hello.
Because, there's, I have all my stupid, corny expressions. One of them is, build the plane as you fly it. And another one is, the perfect time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So
Listen,
if
that goes
you,
for your diet. This goes
yes,
for your, relationships. This goes for your business. This goes for all the things. Why do we have to wait till Monday? Why do we have to wait till the first of the month? Why do we have to wait till the first of the year? There is no better time than today. Why, I'm kind of the type of person that if there's dishes sitting in the sink, unless I'm just having a really like and I have those many a time, but where I'm just like too overwhelmed, it's too much. I will tell myself like, there's no, why do tomorrow what you can do today? Because I already know I'm gonna have to do those dishes. I already know it's happening anyway, so I'd rather just get them done, and now I can breathe and I'm like, cool, it's done. So same thing with launching your business, or getting to the gym, or choosing the salad over the donut, or whatever it is that you're struggling with right now as you listen to this and you're like, yeah, but tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. And we are talking to ourselves, trust me, as much,
Oh
because
yeah.
we have had these conversations. Thank gosh we have each other. And it's
Yeah.
like we're accountability partners to each other. But
Oh, it's so true. Like even me growing up, like just struggling with weight my whole life, it was always like, oh, diet starts Monday, diet starts Monday, diet
yeah,
starts in January. Why? Because what's going to happen? Like Tuesday through the following Monday, you're just going to eat yourself into oblivion and like add extra pounds that now you need to work at. So it's like, why? Why even do that? There is no perfect time. Done, not perfect is the way to go. Don't beat yourself up over the small things. It doesn't matter. The things that you think are like, people are paying attention to, like 90% of the time they're not. They're really not.
yeah.
It's like when you have that blemish and you're like, "Oh my God, everybody's noticing," and everybody's like, "What pimple? Like what are you talking about?"
Honestly, no one cares about anyone as much as they care about themselves. Let's just put it that way. Like
True.
even when we're talking to clients, like we try really hard to not make it like a potential client in sales. We try really hard to not make it about ourselves or our business. We want to talk about them because people love to talk about themselves. It's just who we are. Like we want to know, nobody cares until they know how much you care. Like nobody cares about anything that you have going on unless they're just a troll looking to start a fight with somebody. And who cares about those people anyway? But for the people that you really want to attract, the genuine humans that really want to buy your stuff, they do not need it to be perfect. I have bought many a thing that was on Google Doc Drive. Okay. It was not even on a website, but it was valuable. What I saw was valuable. They didn't have a funnel. It was just like a thing. And then I paid on PayPal and I got a delivery and it was on a Google Doc. Like that's how simple it was. It probably honestly took them maybe 20 minutes to make that thing, but their knowledge was something I was willing to pay for because I wanted that thing. So stop getting in your head that like, oh, well, I have to build this perfect website and I need the name and I need the things and and then the email address. All those things will come with time and they're great to have, but they do not need to be there to get started. So hopefully this is valuable to you as you get started in Q1 and you realize like, this is your time. Yesterday was your time. Today is your time. Tomorrow is your time. They're all your time. Just start now, right? Start now and imagine where you are going to be by the end of 2025.
Yes, that is so important. Like if you start today, your future self is going to thank you for starting when you did. So let's get it done. And don't forget to comment on this episode, subscribe to our channel, and let us know what you think. Let us know the things that you are obsessing over or that you used to obsess over and you no longer do.
And make sure to leave us a review if you are listening to this on Apple. That helps us to get more people listening to this. Give us a 5-star review, comment, and we are going to start at the end of each episode or the end of each week. We're going to start picking somebody who leaves us a review and do some kind of a raffle. So just as a little extra incentive, we want to make sure that you guys feel supported and valued and seen. So we're going to read off some of those. We'll pick one person. We will reach out to you and offer you something really special. So please make sure to leave us a review.